other men. So that very issue now is going to be dealt with in 4.
Well, that's incarnation.
Pardon me?
Is that incarnation?
Yes, that is incarnation.
Okay.
Yeah. But remember now, there's a curious incarnation because it's also an archetype which normally is separate from the things that are made from it, entering into it just like the model of the chair enters in here, and we can sit on the model as well as the chair. Gee, that's remarkable. That would be like if there's a prototype Ford or a BMW, that's the one you buy. You don't buy all the manufactured ones, if there is one. May not even be one. It could be. Right? Then that would be the archetype from which all the others are made.
So, and the idea is that that archetype would also be a car, too.
Yes, a man. Yes, a car. Right.
I mean, the archetype would be the blueprint for that Ford, not even...
Yeah,
it doesn't
that's right.
exist.
That's right, as a chair.
It exists, on a computer disk.
Absolutely right. That's right. But if they did have to make one as the model, what would it be like then driving the model? I mean, that should be
Right.
should be the perfect car.
It's like moving into those homes, those model homes that they use.
Yeah. And this would be the model of all the models.
What would it be like driving?
Okay. All right, let me push it then. All right. I'm at page 133. I'm about the third, fourth sentence on the bottom, 2 lines from the bottom. For he is not a man only. He would, right? For he is not a man only. He would not be above being if he were a man only. The archetype is above being. Hey, you know what? Another word for intelligible. Another word for intelligible, we had mind, intelligible. Another word for it is being. So we have being, intelligible, mind, and sometimes they use another word, vitality. Pure life. Right? So, here we go. For he is not a man only. He would not be above being if he were a man only. But we define him as being a man truly beyond men in his paramount love of man. A being beyond being, made substance according to men, out of the substance of men. But no less does he preserve his eternal transcendence of being in his superfluity of transcendence. See, that model has to remain a model. Therefore, it transcends all the particular examples of itself. Now, why is Pseudo-Dionysius bringing up and introducing Christian theology? Why is he introducing Christians to theology? Why does he introduce this? Wasn't there before. It's a curious way of talking about it, except for one thing. You know what we're learning? We're learning something about ideas, aren't we? About archetypes, about ideas. While he's talking about Jesus, as an example, we're learning about this logos, or this idea. So therefore he's saying, hey, look, Jesus, he then manifests himself in physical form, okay? But he's still transcendent, right? Personifies those qualities on the highest possible level and goes beyond them since he transcends them. Ah. He preserves his eternal transcendence of being. See, of being. That's the one we just introduced. In his superfluity of transcendence. And truly coming into being, existence, made to be above being, he did the things of man above man. Well, now, okay, now look here. Let's pull it together. Now, what is he saying? He's saying that God then generated the universe, right? The soul and matter, right? And body, matter. He could only have done that because he had an idea in his mind that he created. This idea is also an archetype. That idea transcends all of its forms. So by talking about Jesus, we're getting used to talking about a language that is Greek metaphysics. By talking about Jesus in this way, we can forget about Jesus for a moment and see that he's really talking about these ideas. He's educating us on how to deal with these ideas. Now, why? Here's his reason. All right, I'm about 8 lines or so up from the bottom where the little number 10 appears on the left-hand side. By seeing in a divine way, one will come to know through these things affirmative statements above mind about Jesus. What will we learn? We will see in a divine way. We'll come to know through these things affirmative statements, statements that you can say something about. I can affirm certain things about the universe. I'm learning how to make I'm learning how to make affirmative statements right through that sequence. Statements having the force of a superior negation. Because watch what I can now say. A negation, a superior negation, that's a negative. Right? The logos transcends the physical universe. It's above it, it's negative. I can say then that the model transcends all of its manifestations. Every order apparent in the universe as we in any way can conceive of it, the real pattern for it and its higher expression is in the realm of an idea, the logos. So I'm learning how to talk about ideas in a different way by using a Christian image. So that anyone who then wants to talk about Jesus in this way, at the same time as learning how to think in these categories, which have nothing to do with Christianity, but this is all Greek metaphysics. Now, I'm going to 5, you see. So 4 introduces us to seeing in a divine way. That's what he said. That's what we're doing. Now, therefore, look here, if we do that, we're going to then discover something. We'll come to know and to see something. Oh, by the way, the next letter. We should then, if we're able to talk about it, speak in defense of the truth. We'll be able to learn how to reason in this way, and our conclusions will be irrefutable, because it'll follow this model. That'll bring us to realize that we can, in some way, by our reflections, elevate ourselves to the cause of all of this, see? The cause of all of this. And we talk about the cause of all of this, we're talking about the nature of the good, the one, or God. That's what we're going to get in letter 7. If that's the case, what impact does that have on man? I mean, you and I, what difference does it make, all this metaphysics? He creates a magnificent conclusion in letter 8. He says, hey, wait a minute. If you're following this, then there is an implicit need, if you're following